Come hang with Dick and Brett, we're here to get those whistles wet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Beers and Bourbon with Dick and Brett. I'm Dick, and I'm Brett. Hell yeah! I was just showing what my middle daughter the other day. We were watching an episode, and we did the whole wrestling shit. And you did that, and we watched it over and over and over. We were trying to rack up views too. So.
All right. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
So Brett's in some new attire today. He's representing the South. I love it.
I got some Georgia Bulldogs gear.
Dude.
Bringing the heat. I was supplied with this to coach my daughter's team. So that's our team. We're the Bulldogs, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it, dude. Came in with shorts today. Hot as hell in California this week.
Yep.
Mid 80s.
It's gonna cool off next week to 55 again. So
Everyone's gonna get sick.
Yep.
So we got a pretty solid lineup today. We brought back an old bottle that bless you.
Yeah. Thanks, man. That came out of nowhere.
Jeez. We were trying to figure out if we had done it on the podcast, so we had to go back in and look, and we found a pretty good discovery that we've changed over time. That we used to list what's on there in case you guys are searching for it when you hear us talk about it. So we're gonna make an edit going forward. We're gonna add in everything we're doing in case you just want to look at certain bourbons, which I think is a good add to the podcast. But we haven't done Michters. We've talked about it. We've had it. Obviously, we had a quarter of the bottle. Never done it. And then this beer. So this beer I got to tell you guys about. So I always love telling you about when me and Brett, we sit down and we talk outside the podcast. And he was like, dude, I got to get my life together. So he started. I got to get my life together. And he said, hey, no more drinking on Sundays. We got to start working out. And I got to stop drinking so much beer. And I was like, okay. So I went and I was thinking, what can we get that's a sessionable beer that's really a Dick and Brett beer? We can't just bring on Coors Light, all that stuff. I hate that anyways, plus it'd be a cop-out. So we got a double dry hopped hazy sessionable IPA. I've never seen one. 4.9%.
4.9, that's way under the threshold of Dick and Brett regular beers. However, with this new Thoughtful Delight, there's going to be less intake of sugary beers for me because I'm pretty sure I'm going to die if I stay on this pace until I get it under control. So we're going to do our best that we can. Sometimes maybe he'll be drinking the beer and I might be kicking back and just sipping the bourbon. I don't know for sure. We'll see how it goes, but hang in with us because we'll get back on track. You know what I mean?
Your liver just needs a break, man.
Yeah, it probably does.
I'm not gonna give up like you, like a quitter. So I'm gonna drink both all episodes.
You're in better shape than I am right now.
I don't know about all that. So let's talk about. Ooh, I went a little crazy. I'll go a little smaller than yours. So let's talk about Michters. So there is a lot of hype around these bottles, right? You have the 10-year bourbon, you have the 10-year rye, you have the barrel strength if they were doing barrel proof rye and regular bourbon. They were going nuts for a while. Everyone was putting them in a pack. They were $200-$300 at one point. I think they've kind of mellowed out. And then you have the 20 and 25 year. So you have top of the top, and then their regular bourbon, I don't think anyone talks about. I know you can go to the distillery and you can pour your own bottle, which I think is dope. When we go to Kentucky, we'll definitely stop there. I would love to be able to pour my own bourbon bottle and cork it. I think that's badass. But other than that, I don't think, other than the annual releases, you don't hear a lot of people raving about it. It's not like, what'd you see over there?
I just saw a little bug flying around, so I heard some buzzing, and maybe it's just the buzz about our podcast right now and what's coming soon.
Why don't you tell them where we're at, man? So we haven't.
All right. So let's break it down, right? Okay, we talk a lot of shit. We said we're gonna do a lot of things, and then we don't do it. But there's one thing that we always do, and that's stick to our plan, right? And our plan was always from the start, we're gonna grow this thing, and we're gonna continue to grow this thing, and it's not gonna stop growing, right? So it's like every day you go in and is your little plants out by the windowsill, and some days you come home from 3 days of being away and it's a little droopy, but you put some water in it, you stick it back out there, and the next day it's strong as an ox, right? So that's what we're doing right now. Like a little bit of up, a little bit of down, but shit, man, we put a business together.
LLC.
We got merch on deck.
Yeah.
We're gonna be opening it up so that people can actually find it, purchase it, have it, rock it, wear it.
Spread the word.
Yeah, they could donate it to I don't know, something like at some point, you know, like after they've already gotten sweat lines all over it and stuff. So it's going to be out there like all over the place. And we're pretty damn excited about that for sure. Hats, shirts, sweatshirts, visors. Later in the summer, we're going to be coming out with other stuff. So keep an eye out, man. It's actually happening. And, you know, we got some out. Shit, you're wearing one right now.
Yeah.
We got some out to our friends and family. All the reviews and people are coming back to us telling us they like it and it's quality and everything looks good and they're rocking it. So now it's time to get it out to some other people, right?
Yeah.
Help support our bourbon endeavors.
Hopefully. The funniest part about this whole journey was when we went and got our bank account last week and Brett tried to do the Kendrick Lamar out of the bank.
Yeah. Well, I felt like I was that guy in the Super Bowl, you know, like you put your arm up and then to two-step.
Yeah.
You know, so I was trying to do it because like all the kids are doing it right now. And I thought, hey, I'm, 40 something years old. I think I can do it. Not successful.
No.
Whatsoever.
I don't even think he knew the dance at that point.
I didn't. But I'm going to keep trying to learn new things. So
that was the feather in the cap, though. So all the things he talked about, going through all the legality, and we're sitting here. Of course, we're drinking beers while we're doing all the documents, which is not good. Worried about submitting them. We had misspelling, getting everything. I was worried. Brett was like, "It's all good, man. Don't worry. They'll just kick it back if it's wrong. No big deal." I'm like stressed, waiting in the mail. All that is done. All that's out of the way. Full steam ahead. Then the bank account was like, hold on. Did they just really approve us to have a bank account? We legitimately have a business.
They gave us a credit line?
Yeah, they gave us a credit line.
Okay.
And the lady was, hopefully she said she's going to follow. She was super pumped about the whole grassroots thing of it. So, yeah, if you're watching it, you're hearing it. Really, first, we've been talking about it, but it's now reality. It's reality that we are an official LLC. We have a DBA. It's flown in the paper. Everything's out there, and we haven't talked about a website because hopefully you guys just want to tell us you want to buy it, and we don't have to go that route yet. But by the end of the summer, we're hoping it's everywhere.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't pin up a website pretty soon, but that's on our things to do list. So once something's on that list, it gets done.
Yeah.
There's no going backwards. You can't just remove something from the list once an idea has been put in place with us. So
that's it.
It's just gonna happen.
Ahead.
Yeah.
So let's get into the bourbon. Now we've shared all the good news. Let's figure out, what do you get off the nose? The nose is pretty faint. This bottle's old. Might have a little air in it.
Well, what do they say about air? They say let's break this down. They say once you open a bottle, the bourbon, if the bottle is half full or more, should last a very long time. If the if the bottle has less than half bourbon in it, then you have anywhere from 6 to 12 months before the bourbon actually changes and becomes more oxidized due to the amount of air that's in your bottle. So they do suggest that if you have a bottle that you feel like is going to sit around for a long time and it's more than half gone, that you should put it in a smaller package and cork it so there's less air, causing less oxidation in your bourbon.
That's pretty impressive.
All right.
So I've seen people, they also have this spray you can put in there. I don't know how good that works.
Seems like it'll give you cancer.
I think everything gives you cancer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. All right, so this stuff, man, sits in white oak barrels, right? Pretty dope, like that.
Yeah.
What are you getting off the nose? You just asked me 5 times, but I can't figure it out either, so. I feel like it's going to be a little spicy.
Yeah, I get spice too. I don't get a lot of heat. It doesn't feel like it's going to be that hot, though. I get the rye out of it, but it's pretty faint. I don't feel like it's going to be high proof.
Do we know? Does it not say?
It says on there. It's on the right side, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. We're at 94.4 proof.
Okay.
Or 47.2 alcohol by volume. And, single barrel. So I guess the only way to get into it is to get into it.
Cheers, brother. It's got a lot more spice than I thought it was gonna be. Now we haven't had a beer or anything before, so it's straight out of the cuff.
Yeah, I feel like it's got a good spice for its alcohol content. Like it's not a overpowering like it doesn't taste like straight booze if you've been drinking a lot of bourbon. It kind of tastes mellow, but it has a lot of flavor. I would say it kind of bootstraps just a little bit. It's got a little bit of that leather, a little bit of that spice.
Yeah. I get almost like that metallic copper taste out.
Yeah, there's a little copper, a little clove almost.
It's definitely more like the dried stuff. And I'm getting a Kentucky hug. The finish is nice.
Yeah, there's a nice little oily finish to it. It's not like super dry on the mouth. It kind of keeps the mouth wet and keeps it from just sucking up all the extra saliva and stuff in your mouth. So that usually helps with the finish, especially because you're breathing. Some bourbons will tend to dry you up real quick, you know what I mean? And this one kind of just doesn't. So you can tell there's an oily kind of consistency in there.
Look at the legs.
Yeah.
You can't see them, but I can.
Yeah, there's nice legs on it.
On the second pour, I get a little of that dried fruit. The finish is a lot mellower on the second round. You know what I think though when I drink this? I was trying to think about not looking at the bottle because the presentation, it looks like official. They only release it once a year, so you think it's going to be like real refined, but I feel like it drinks real refined.
It does, yeah. I'm almost getting like a sense of like a hint of like a dark chocolate note on the second one.
See that? I get the cream. I would say the creaminess of that.
I don't know why that's what I picked up on the last one.
Yeah. Man, the more I taste it, the better it gets.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I could probably have a few of these on a regular good night, but I'm gonna withstand from doing that until my liver recovers.
You already said one tonight. So when your buddy who you drink with religiously calls you and says, "My insides hurt,"
yeah,
that's when you know it's time to slow down a little bit.
Absolutely, at least for a little while until I can get some more vitamins, water.
Gotta drink more water, man.
Things like that in my system that are gonna help me.
Brett doesn't like greens either. That's the problem.
I don't like greens, man. Greens are I take that back. I will eat lots of vegetables, but they have to be steamed,
fucking prima donna,
or grilled, or something like that. And then fruits probably should help me a lot. I don't like doing any of that unless it's blended. It's just a texture thing for me, man. It's just not my thing. Like,
so he just has basically coffee, nicotine, bourbon and beer.
Yeah,
No
and
wonder
beer.
No wonder you feel like shit.
Well, I thought those were like all the best things in life.
It's all sugar and carbohydrates.
And then I eat like meat and potatoes to go along with it. So anything salty, I like that
Salt
too.
and starch.
Yeah, salt and starch.
No wonder your liver's shit.
Yeah, so maybe I got to rethink what I'm doing and try to figure it all out. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna not like bourbon or beer. So
let me ask you a question. So this bottle used to retail $300 up. Right? Sometimes that's $1.350 if you're buying it from some shop that only got, they only get a case of these or whatever. Is it worth it?
I think it's worth it for one. And if you like it enough and it's in your kind of wheelhouse of what you like to drink, I think it's worth it for another one. I probably wouldn't go out and buy 5 of them and stock them up because you just don't know. So I would pick one up, sit down, drink it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then maybe find a different profile of bourbon that you like. But
I think we got to try the rye.
I'm not mad at it, man. I like if somebody just sat down and poured me this and said, "Hey, try this," and it was either a blind or it was, unbeknownst to me, like what the price point was or whatever. I would say it's a really good bourbon.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we got to try the rye though, because we've been slowly transitioning into that, like in beer you get into IPAs,
Yeah.
you get into hazies, like
And then
I
you
feel
get
like
into the quints.
yeah, Quince 5 times hazies. We did that. That's why this beer is gonna seem so light.
It's gonna be like Coors Light.
It's a
to us.
third of what we were
Yeah.
drinking, right? That's why I got us each one. But I agree. I mean, I think the last time we drank this bottle was 2-3 years ago, and it was way before the podcast. And at that point, we probably couldn't appreciate it as much as we can now. I think it drinks really well, but I really feel like the rye is going to be the decision maker, because just because you don't hear about it doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, I mean it goes hand in hand with like some of your other top rye makers out there, right? Like your Whistle Pig or your whatever. Like even in the Buffalo Trace series, you have like your Handy and you have your Saz, and you have like stuff like that where it's like there are top shit ryes out there, and I can only imagine that the Michters rye, has a good solid footing in that crowd.
If the bourbon's this good, then I
Yeah.
imagine the rye is even a step above.
Yeah.
So, hey, Michters, I like it, man. It's been a while since we came and opened that bottle, but you know what? I'm glad we did tonight. Solid pour.
Solid pour. Highly recommend. If you can get your hands on one, try it out. It's pretty good shit.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna have you pour your own beer because you have your beer.
All right.
So this beer is called, this is a pretty badass name. It says 8-Bit Brewing, Marietta, California, Conan the Barbeerian. So, double dry hop session IPA 4.9, Motica, Amarillo, and Strata.
I like how he's riding like a little tiny like mini horse.
And he's massive and he's jacked. He's got like a 12 pack. I'll show you the can. Oh, right when I opened it, I smelled just juicy amazingness. So I'll come, while the head settles, I'll come show you what the can looks like. So this dude like legit is jacked, and he's riding I didn't even notice that. He's riding a mini horse. The sword is bigger than the horse.
Yeah.
8-Bit Brewing, let's go, bro. You haven't let us down yet. Color is on point, Brett. This is what you were talking about last
Yeah, he's
month.
got hops around his neck. He's holding like some kind of
That's their logo.
beer bag 8-bit logo deal.
Yeah, it's like a little like
We got Moteca, Amarillo, and Strata hops in here. Yeah, man, 4.9. So supposedly a sessionable beer.
double dry hop. I smell it.
And for any of you guys that don't know, when something says, session or sessionable or whatever it means that they anticipate that you're able to have multiple of them in one sitting without it wrecking your life. I'm assuming that's what it means,
I mean,
right?
I think when you get into sessionables, it's under 5% or 5.5%, which means it's a perfect beer for summer. Wherever you're at a pool or whatever you're partying, you're like, hey, I want to crush some beers, but I don't want to drink some bullshit beer. You're gonna look for a sessionable pale ale. Now they're doing them in hazies, which is super cool because for a while hazies were all single. Brett got an update on his ESPN.
Yeah.
It's all good. What I love about this beer is from the moment I cracked the can, I smelled the hops. Like,
Yeah, it has a good, nice smell to it.
the aroma is amazing. So DDH, double dry hopped, right? Sometimes you're gonna get extra bitterness. Hopefully, from what I think our flavor profile is, we typically hope you're gonna get that better aroma and the flavor, because this thing smells dank and it's less than 5%. That means I can drink 27 of these in the channel.
Yeah, this thing hits the sessionable mark. I took one sip.
You already drank some?
I did just a little. You know how I roll.
Gosh, dude.
It was. I snuck it. I didn't even know I did it. But I.
Well, tell me about it. Now that you
I'm
drank
gonna.
it.
That's what I was doing right now. I
We're
was
like a
trying to tell
married
us
couple
about
right
it.
now.
Yeah, I know.
Did you turn the dishwasher on? No, you said you were gonna do it.
I think he's mad at me right now.
I am mad at
because
you.
I keep coming up with all these ideas, and then he thinks that it's like I only want him to do them, and I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna go there? All right.
I'm just
No, let's go there. All right, so this fucker right here, we're sitting here earlier. He's got a little pouty attitude. Look, he pulled the lawnmower cord and let it run. Now he's got me pissed off. So he's like, I think we should change this, bro. And then he looks at me and he's like, we'll do it together. Fuck off.
Well, we can. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Alright.
the timeline moves a little bit, but you know.
I'm all for ideas, but when Brett's ideas equal more work for me, I want to say fuck off. That's what I want to say.
I mean, I gotta just call him and ask for access to everything, and then I can go in and do my thing. But my computer at home is shitbag McGee. It's
Dude,
like it doesn't work.
We got
right
the
now,
bank
so-
account. We're gonna buy you whatever you need. Can you show me your haircut? Because I feel like you. Oh my gosh, turn sideways.
So I got a fresh cut.
Oh gosh.
I'm trying to stick with the mullet / fuck it Chetty haircut.
That's a Chetty
Run
haircut.
around. You
Shout
know
out
what I
to
mean?
Chetty.
Yeah, Chetty, we like you, man. Keep it up. The
Freezer
good shit.
tarps.
Yeah, freezer tarps.
Okay,
bro.
so
Lip pillow. Kid.
Yeah, so
Fucking
Brett-
decky.
Brett has been rocking this hair. So there's a lot of things I love about Brett, but the one thing that I love about him is when you meet him, he's so chill. People think like, oh, this guy's gonna be non-committal. He's just gonna be relaxed. He has been rocking this hair since the same time last year, getting ready for Rage Coach. He was like, I'm getting the Morgan Wallen cut. And here we are, a year later, still rocking it. Not like, oh, my wife, some cop out, my wife told me I gotta cut it, I got a new job. Still rocking it. That's
Yeah,
why.
dude, I went through the whole lost a job, gained a job.
He's a rider. That's why he's my boy. Because
I was like, I gotta cut this thing or I'm not gonna get one. And then I started thinking, if they don't fucking like me for who I am, then they
that's discrimination, bro.
can suck 9 million. You know
You know
what I mean?
what? I mean, discrimination, bro. That's just very simple.
So what do you think about the beer, man?
Okay, so I was hoping you'd ask me that because I've been taking notes while you took a fucking sip before me. So I already gushed on the aroma.
Yeah.
I love the aroma. It's super citrus, sweet, pungent, right out of the can, in the glass. Love the aroma. The flavor is basically a hazy light.
Yeah.
That's the way I would describe it. It's got all the citrus notes. It's got Strata's like more of a creamy, so it's like it gives me that like welcoming onto my tongue. I want to have another drink. I've already had 2 since we cracked it. This is everything I want in a beer at a lighter level.
Yeah.
So this is like when you're gonna go rage and you're like, hey, I want to stay in my right mind because my wife gave me like the little like elbow. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
This is the beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a 6-pack of these or 2 4-packs and I'm gonna crush all of them and I'm gonna be like, I'm good to drive. I'm good.
No, he's not good to drive. He's not
I'm good to drive because that's what happens.
He's not good to drive after 6:30.
Yeah. No, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with their ability to inject that much flavor into a beer with that little alcohol.
Yeah, I like it. So it sits at like this pillowy kind of. It still has like that thick kind of like hazy, right? It leaves out that strong like dry hop bite.
Yeah, there's no bitterness.
It's not bitter. It doesn't have like that IPA heavy side to it. It's kind of like just a light, refreshing, citrus, little, foggy bomb, right?
Yeah,
and
that's exactly right.
And yet it doesn't feel like it's hitting you like a train on like on a high moving train.
Dude, you could have legit 3 of these,
Yeah.
and someone's drinking Michelob Ultras and they have 4 or 5, and you're at the same game.
Yeah, same game.
Like straight, sober as a judge, chilling, like Conan the Barbeerian,
Yeah.
like fire.
Yeah. The can's pretty cool too. I actually like the way it looks.
Dude, 8-Bit is pretty money. I gotta say, shout out to 8-Bit. We're gonna tag you. We're gonna come down there. Hopefully you show us love because they're pumping out nothing but fire.
I'll tell you what, I'm down next to 8-Bit like at least once a week. I'll be down there tomorrow. Not at 8-Bit, but I used to go to 8-Bit when we had longer longer practice.
Brett used to call me. I'm like, where you at? He's like, I'm at 8-bit. Practice is 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm having dinner and I'm having a beer.
That's what I would do. I would go in and get an appy and grab a nice, try out some of their beers, and then I would go back and then, make my rounds. But great place to go hang out. They got 8-bit has like video games inside, which is pretty cool. I know it's also like family oriented, which is like a lot of people can say like a lot of these breweries kind of do it. It's like you invite your families to these breweries because they're allowed there because they serve both food and beer and wine. They don't have, spirits or anything like that. So it's not like a bar where you have to restrict you children from coming in. So like you can go in and like actually enjoy yourself, and the kids can play video games.
They got an outdoor area. It's chill.
I was reading this thing the other day that said that kids like our kids, like if I got kids or
you have kids, you have 2.
or I have 2 kids, yes, okay, or Dick has kids, he has 3 kids, okay, so anyways, they're saying that like when they get older, they're not gonna like want to go to like a brewery anymore or like drink beer as much because like they feel like they spent some of their childhood in like a brewery or some shit. I don't know. I read this article. It was really weird article.
That's
Somebody had
weird,
some
dude. My
strange
kids are
shit,
gonna be brewing beer pretty soon. They've already poured the hops in. They're gonna be brewing real beer.
I think it's a crock of shit, but it's probably just another weird article that you read online. But I'm gonna read it if they're gonna put it out there because I want to get what's the truth behind it, and
well,
maybe I could talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah. Well, we kind of have a podcast.
Yeah.
I think anytime you can go to a brewery that's not some just everyone goes in and drinks beer, or they have a food truck, they have some sort of food, they have some sort of outdoor ambiance that you can play cornhole or whatever, where
lawn games, right? Yeah.
Where the kids are entertained. It's the best of both worlds because as adults, we want to have a release. We might want to have a drink. Nothing crazy. You don't need to have a million beers, but I might want to go have a beer after practice, and you can play cornhole. 8-bit has a ton of pinball now. Yeah. They put a bunch of pinball in. Like that's the best. Give me gourmet bar food. Make my kids happy. I went to their practice. Yeah. I endured the 2-3 hour, whatever that was. I want to have a beer. We'll have some decent food. And I'll have a good beer.
And if you want to have a couple of beers, you grab one of these sessionable beers, right?
No, you tell your wife to drive home.
Or that, and then you could have a couple really good beer. You could have a couple 10%ers if she's driving.
Well,
but
I don't know.
At this point, if you're like the guy and you need to stay under the California legal limit and you're responsible,
I'll have 2 of those.
And you could have a couple of these and still probably be pretty satisfied. This is damn good beer for what it's giving you.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is like the unicorn of beers when it comes to aroma, flavor profile, finish, and the fact that I could have like legit 4 of them and be cool.
Yeah, and it tastes good, and that's the difference, right? Because like if you're gonna
Color.
settle on a beer that is, not that powerful, it better taste good, and this one hits the mark. So
well, that's what we're all striving for, right? It's not all about ABV. It's not all about like how many hops are in it. It really comes down to I want to drink a beer that I enjoy, and then I want to have another one, and I would like to have like 16 of these.
I would too.
Because it has all the components of what I want, but it just removed the ABV.
Yeah.
It's fire.
All right, well, we're getting close to the end of this podcast, but I just wanted to ask Dick over here if he had any more hot topics he'd like to get off his chest today.
Jesus, is this like a obituary?
No, I was just curious, man. It's been like, a few days since we hung out, and just wanted to make sure everything's cool with you. What do you think? Are you good?
This guy's always putting me on the spot. Yes, I'm good.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. All right, great. Well, at least we're getting out of here on the same page. That's a good thing. So, you know what? We're looking forward to doing the next one with you guys. You'll probably see it in a few weeks. Could be less time than that, but we're working hard to give you guys everything you promised. So we'll very soon be giving you guys a bunch of new cool shit, new content. We're going to be on new platforms this year. We are going to be traveling and going outside. We're going to be testing some new video stuff, maybe some new audio stuff as well. You guys are you're gonna see a significant difference over the next couple of months. So stay tuned. Any likes, comments, or subscribes that you guys can give us, it'll only help us continue in our growth. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Everybody that's helped us to get to this point, we love you guys. Stay tuned, and Dick and Brett,
We
out.